Okay, my name is Abhishek Ghosh, and this presentation is part of the exercise meetup for the class CS 4020, Competing and Social Responsibility. We had to, uh, as part of the assignment, we had to attend two meetups. One of them was at school, and one was outside school. So, for the first part, I went to attend a meetup in San Francisco, which was about Rails and React, two technologies which are very near and dear to my heart. So the title of the meetup was Flexport and StackShare presents Stack Combo Meetup. Here's a link of the meetup, and the presenters were Jonas Bishord, Matthew Owen, Stephen Young, and Zach Holman. Um, So the meetup was organized at the Flexport headquarters, and it was on the 2nd of May 2018. I might add a screenshot for the RSVP once I finish this presentation. So the main topics of the discussion were um, so the meetup started with a welcome speech by the founder and CEO of StackShare. And so a little about StackShare. So StackShare is a company um, which lets you, I think I talk about it over here. So yeah, yeah. So this is just a broad overview of what was talked about. So first was a welcome speech, then was uh, about GraphQL by Matthew Owen. He's a staff engineer at Flexport, software engineer at Flexport. Then about code splitting and how does it help by Stephen Young, and how React plus Rails is used at During by Zach Holman. So yeah, I reached about 20 minutes early uh, at the meetup location, and there were a couple of more people with me at the premises. So the meetup started with a welcome speech by the CEO of StackShare, and he explained about what did the company do. Uh, so sorry about this. So the meetup was about so meetup started with the founder and CEO talking about his company StackShare. So StackShare is a company that helps developers and engineers discover and compare tools by reviewing the stacks used by other companies. So um, what they do is what companies usually do is they come to StackShare and they list their technology stack and what they use it for, and people all over the world, engineers, developers, other companies, co-founders, can come to StackShare and look at what the process is or what other technology stacks are being used by other companies. So yeah, I've been an on and off user of StackShare over the years. um, I recently visited StackShare to look at the stack used by Instagram and Facebook for their web applications and mobile applications. So that was just an introduction from the StackShare CEO, and so the main discussion started next, and it was by Matthew Owen, and he spoke on GraphQL. So GraphQL is a query language for APIs, and it provides a runtime environment to run those queries. So GraphQL is an improvement kind of on the traditional REST APIs. So with REST APIs, what happens is you can only have so many handlers for all the relations and nested relations in your database and for your models. So for example, say you have something like API version 1 user ID, this returns all of your details. Say you wanted to return details about your friends, you have another endpoint like this. So but say what if you wanted some information about your friends. So this soon turns into a bottleneck with REST APIs, and it becomes very tedious and lengthy to work with them. So Matthew explained there about how GraphQL is solving this problem. So what GraphQL does is it does not only let you query for one resource, but it smoothly returns data for all references. So for example, you see here, you see that you're querying the hero model, and you're asking for the name and the friends edge. Okay, and the friends again have name and home world, and home world and again has name and climate. So basically this is a nested data and a nested query. To do this and to achieve this with REST API could be very difficult, but GraphQL visualizes your database in form of models, and you provide with something which are called as resolvers, which Matthew talked about, where you help resolve each field in your database. And then just for the query, you just mention the attribute names, and GraphQL will use your resolver methods to um, return you the data. So that being said, yeah, Matthew also spoke about how GraphQL is used to improve performance and scale their API at Flexport. So so GraphQL basically helps you when you're on a low network connection, like mobile devices, where you might want to fetch more data in one go rather than do successive requests. So the next up was Stephen Young. He spoke about code splitting. So um, in the modern day JavaScript applications, your code is your JavaScript code base is converted to a bundle, okay, which is then deployed. So usually the bundle is around, you know, as your code base grows, the bundle size grows too. So that's when code splitting comes in, and what code splitting does is literally divides your bundle into chunks of code. So this helps in only loading those modules or those chunks which are needed at runtime, and does not cause unnecessary loading of data which is not needed at all. So yeah, it is a lazy loading of JavaScript modules, and it greatly improves the first load time of the web application. um, yeah, he used React as a framework to explain all the code splitting. So the last one was Zach Holman, and he is a founder of During and also a uh, ex-employee of GitHub, and he'd been there for more than over 10 years, I think some 12 and a half years. He mostly spoke about React and Rails, and what their major advantages were uh, uh, at During their company. So he showed us specific business logics or specific business problems which were easy to solve through code and maintain um, with React and Rails. Rails has all the scaffolding uh, commands which helps you create models and controllers and web pages soon, as fast as possible. And React is an awesome front-end UI framework which is used to create the mobile and web applications. So I met Matthew Owen again at the end of the meetup, and I asked him some questions about GraphQL, and so one of the questions that I asked was how difficult it is to introduce GraphQL to some API which is already in production, and he said that GraphQL does not care about the underlying API, so um, that is yeah. So GraphQL is just wrapped around the existing API. We just need to start using it. So he talked about resolver method, which is needed uh, as a part of an implementation in your API, and so the rest of the thing is covered by GraphQL, that it looks at all your uh, attributes that you need and calls each of the resolver methods for those attributes and returns the data in proper format. Uh, yeah, so I definitely think meetups are a great way to network with fellow engineers and to uh, you know, find about or learn about the technologies and topics that you care about. This is my third meetup. The first two were the first one I attended was by Guido van Rossum, the creator of Python, and he spoke about the future of Python. And the next was on big data by an ex-Googler. So yeah, I definitely think I found two friends which I actively work with on my open source projects in one of these meetups, and yeah, it's a great way to network uh, for jobs, for projects, and just to meet fellow devs. So as part of the part two, I attended the Math and CS Tech Club event, which explained the Diffie-Hellman key exchange protocol. Um, yeah, um, it was nice. I'm also taking two courses on network security, so I think this will be helpful. So this is my Stack Overflow page. Um, I've been a user of Stack Overflow for more than 4 years now, 4 years now. So I am a moderator now, and I review new questions. I raise flags. I help choose mentors for the community, and yeah. So as you see, I have 37 bronze medals and whatnot. Yeah, I'm an avid user of Stack Overflow. This is my GitHub profile, and I've been there for a couple of years now again. And this is my activity chart, and yeah, these are the organizations I work with. Copart is the company where I intern. Udacity is the company where I work as an open source contributor. And this is another project on React, which I work with one of my friends from the meetup. Okay, so that is all. Thank you so much.